Folks, we're sorry about that. We did not realize that our audio had been muted that whole time.
I was like, and we'll be gone for the timeout break, and then I'm like, Bobby, it's off.
You pointed at me. I was like, oh, it's not on. Now it is.
If you're just tuning in, which regardless, you're going to need this because we didn't have the audio. The Dukes are on top 4-0, 6:26 to go in the second quarter. A few names that have been really standing out. Madsen already with 2 goals. LT goalie Finn Buckley, the sophomore, has had an outstanding outing. I mean, already has double-digit saves. Often that would be really, really great for a full game. We're not even halfway into the second quarter. He already has that done. He's looking great. LT really putting up a fight here. Once again, I'm sorry about that audio situation. Missed a couple great calls, but
you missed a few good goals. McCann had the first one. Madsen has had 2. And now York again. York has been going pretty slow with this, and we were talking about Edwin Espinoza for part of it and the way he's been playing defense. Patty Tool's had a great game in net, too. He's made a lot of good saves, some that have been close. Wolf gets him to fall down. If he can score, that would be the whole package.
You know, I got that text before the game from Mikey Boys, and to remember Wolf's number is 15. That'll help me remember it. Wow! Leads to the Dukes' goal.
I think that was Madsen again.
Yes, it was. That's a hat trick for Madsen in the first half. Not something that's too crazy to say, believe it or not. He does that almost every other night.
I was going to say that's a pretty common thing at this point, that Ryder Madsen has a hat trick in a game. And in Rieger, he had a hat trick the other night. But Ryder is usually the guy he's getting those hat tricks. He's already got 3, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ended with 5 or 6. And he got hit early by Buckley. Buckley just flattened him.
Yeah, that's something I wish that the audio was on for. That was just unreal.
That was a big hit.
Madsen had a one-on-one with the LT goaltender, Buckley. And Buckley was not only able to save it, but was able to check Madsen to the ground. Madsen's not someone who gets hit down easily either.
And it's good to see that Madsen is okay and he's not shaken up by it. And he's like, yeah, you hit me, I'll score 3 goals. It's fine. As Torreya goes back to about the 45, and York will reset. We were mentioning York has Columbus West tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and we're talking about the sectional too. And it's a pretty tough sectional. There's a shot out in front by Rieger that goes wide, and it's going to go down with LT.
Speaking of that sectional, just confirmation from last night from IHSA, there will be a state tournament for lacrosse. We've been mentioning all year, maybe there will, maybe there won't. It's now set in stone that there will. We don't know the fine details of where it will be held, etc. But
not yet.
We know what's coming. We know there's an end goal for the Dukes. Starts with sectionals, super sectionals, but I mean, you could really see this Dukes team going all the way down the line. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from them. Great to see Dukes athletics really shining as you hear the student section.
I don't think LT. I think they didn't have enough guys on the side as Madsen over to Wolf, who tried to just a little shot underneath. He couldn't. Madsen looking for an assist, but LT had 2 defenders back, and they didn't have enough guys, so they were
offsides.
Yeah, too many men. At first, I thought they didn't get enough. They didn't get over in time, but I looked back and I was like, never mind. They were over in plenty of time as Torreya is back and moving around. There's Rieger X out to Torreya, a little bit of a high pass. Now we also speaking about passes, that LT has had a tough start trying to clear out passes and try to get stuff going. They've not cleared the ball well.
That's really been their big flaw because they've had the saves. Buckley's got the ball in his stick. He's had the chance to get over the half-court line, but he's making it harder for himself when they can't do so, and the Dukes are just ready, attacking again, and that's led to this Dukes 5-0 lead.
And the ground balls are also such a huge part of that, and the fact that they're just scooping stuff up and, clearing the ball is pretty special. As Wolf moves it around to Reha. Back in the hands of Wolf. You're trying to get something out in front. They can't. Madsen thought. Now goes behind.
Rieger gives it to Wolf. Duke's taking their time. No reason not to here. It's led to these 5 goals. It's led to the open looks.
It's what they do. They like to go slow. At times they like to go fast, and now they're going to go a man up.
Tire down the defense. forced a flag, and that's crossbar, barely misses. Dukes will maintain possession here while that flag's on the field. But absolutely, I mean, you get the defense tired. They're having a long shift out there. At least them forcing floppy penalties leads to goals.
You have the ability to get 2 goals in one setting as McNeil moves it around in the hands of And and Rieger back to Wolf. Wolf trying to get a shot on net. Nope, to Reha. McCann. York is trying to take those looks. They haven't got him. And Rieger out in front. He got hit up high. He score?
Wow. Scores and the penalty. That was nice by Andon Rieger. I mean, that was really nice. He got hit, looked like a cross check to the helmet, was still able to sneak it around the goal. He looks like LT's confused about something. Gathered by the crease.
So LT will have, I think they have 2 guys man down now. Or is it just 1?
See, there's certainly some confusion up here in the booth and down there on the field. Scoreboard still says 5 goals. See if that goal for Rieger did go. Looks like there's some discussion about it right now between the guys in the stripes.
I'm assuming that goal counts. Should be a 6-0 game with 2:40 left. Is LT only down 1 guy? No? They down none?
I'm just waiting for that scoreboard to go up to 6. This is interesting.
I think they waved off the goal. I saw the ref made a notion that
Certainly.
waved it off, which is a little surprising because I thought he had scored.
Must have been something we didn't see from up here.
But LT is man down. Go figure. And McCann will shuffle it around to Matson, who is higher up than usually you would think. He's usually where he is now at X. Or he's out in front of the net.
Out in front of the net is where he really shines. He loves those off-platform, twitchy shots. Led to a hat trick early today. Leads to hat tricks nearly every game. I mean, it's just unreal from the junior, Ryder Matson.
Also another tough clear by LT. We call a timeout. I think LT called the timeout.
If they did. Anyone just tuning in, I'm sorry that we didn't have the audio going in the first half. Little problem on our end there, but we're here. York Sports Network reporting. Duke's on top 5-0. LT's taking a timeout. We'll take a timeout. 2:07 to go in the second quarter.
Out of the timeout, it will be LT ball, and now we've gotten the confirmation that it is 6 goals. So Andy Rieger's goal does count.
Just a little behind on the scoreboard there. We got a text from Will Siegenthaler, of course, not able to partake in the game because of the injury. It's been nagging him. It is 6-0 Dukes. That's updated. Scoreboard just didn't have it up there. Andon's goal counts, and that's a delay of game. These Dukes are buzzing.
Well, they're pumped that they got that delay game, and now Puckett brings it down, and he is going.
And that's what Puckett always does.
Fast.
He wants to get that odd man rush. Why not? Right when they get the ball from out of bounds, he'll get it up there. Madsen with the rare miss.
He just speared it into the ground, and nothing happened. Now LT looking to clear that.
These clear attempts by LT are a little pathetic. Just hurling it over the half line, practically giving the Dukes the ball.
I think they think just throw it as far as you can.
Maybe it'll go in. Maybe it'll go in the net.
Yeah, it's such a the amount of luck you would need for that.
It might. You never know. That's what they're thinking. It's definitely not. They're just having a hard time clearing it, just getting it over the midline.
York going slow. They got a minute 17 to do something and score. Again, make it 7-0, which, some of these fans and players, they want a shutout. Granted, I know York wants that too, but I think they just want to stay focused. They're not so focused on a shutout. They're focused on winning. And by relatively a wide margin is Wolf's goal. Oh, he shot it off the post. He's hit the crossbar. He's hit the post today. And that one rang off the iron again. I think Buckley would have been there too, so if it was just far enough inside, it would have probably been saved.
Absolutely, and if you're an LT fan right now sitting here down 6-0, sure it might sting. I see a pretty good future in this team. We see a lot of underclassmen on the squad. Arguably the best player out there right now is a sophomore, Finn Buckley.
I was going to say, you're talking about that goalie, right?
Absolutely, that's the LT goalie for anyone just tuning in.
McCann rips it and he scores.
Second goal of the game for Lance McCann, both in the same location, both put into the upper echelon. Top cheddar, baby. Lance McCann, 7-0 York Dukes with 35 to go in the second quarter.
I'm sure York is going to want another one. Go up there 8-0. It'll be interesting to see what they do at halftime in terms of goalie, if they'll have Connor, if they're going to have Patty go back out there. Because Patty's had a really good game. This quarter, I don't know if he's seen an offensive possession yet.
I'll tell you what, if I have a shutout, I would have a hard time saying, yeah, Connor Selfridge, go out there and finish it out. At least let Toole stay in there until he could give up a goal.
Well, I think he has to see an offensive possession first before.
It's like those combined no-hitters in baseball.
Absolutely.
Just let the guy stay out there.
And now McNeil brings it up for York with 15 seconds to go. McNeil behind the back. He missed that.
The Dukes should have been fun out there. That would have been awesome. Behind the back for McNeil.
That would have been a beautiful goal. And now under 10 to go.
5 seconds working for Max. Here they go.
Another big save by Buckley, and that is the first half.
It's a great save by Buckley. Stop a little bit of this momentum. York Dukes 7. Lyons Township Lions 0.
6 goals in that second quarter. It's pretty impressive.
Hey, right when we turned the mics back on, the Dukes started scoring.
Absolutely.
It's a little luck over there. So it's all falling into place for the Dukes right now.
It is.
Dukes by 7. We'll take a break. 7-minute halftime period. York Sports Network. AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling. We'll be right back.
Start of the second half from Elmhurst. 7-0 York lead and a pretty good student body here. Torreya ready to win a face-off. Hopefully win a face-off. And look who's back in net. It's Patty Toole. So he's going to keep the shutout going. I'm assuming they'll let him finish unless something were to go totally wrong.
So basically, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, but, I didn't really never know what Canfield's going to do in net because he's had so many different ideas. One game he might run fully with Connor, which he has done once. Or they split it. It's kind of interesting.
He's done that more than once.
Yeah, they split every game besides the Wheaton Academy game where that was Selfridge who started.
And then 2 games earlier in the year was also Selfridge because Patty was playing football, right?
Yeah. Ryan Wolf got completely decked, and they call it I don't think they threw a flag. I think it's just going to reset. What game was that? Was that Downer? No, it wasn't Downer South. I think it was... It might have been... No, it was St. Ignatius. That was the game that Connor played fully. That was that Friday night, that last football game.
Rieger getting tripled.
He tried to drive in, and York trying to force turnover. That was McCann who just kind of threw his body in there. And now LT is going to reset and go back to...
Great recovery by Madsen there, sorry.
Square one. And that pass was way high. That is...
Not something you see too often from Ryder Madsen.
That is very unlike York. So LT will start, and they'll move it around. Well, who's going to start with it? There we go. Took him a moment.
Very different energy level there on those passings. The Dukes right away push it, taking their time there, setting up the offense.
They'll go back and reset.
That's Patrick Ryan out there. Not to be mistaken with the Duke's own Patrick Ryan. There is a Patrick Ryan at York.
I was going to say, I think he sits behind me in math. I could be wrong. But I'm not in school anymore. Today was my last day.
Yeah, congratulations to all the York seniors graduating today. Everyone in the conference. Seniors last day. Some still have the AP tests on Monday, like our cameraman here, Ben Zerlo.
That's very unfortunate.
But
I'm still
just about over.
But I'm still doing this until like June 19th when athletic season is over.
Juneteenth.
As McCann brings it up, and I don't think he's running full speed. He was just kind of like a half jog. That was a shot and a goal. Who was that? Was that 15? That was Ryan Wolf who beat the goalie 5-hole, put it in, and it is an 8-0 York lead. And Ryan Wolf, he had, I believe, either 4 or 5 goals on Wednesday at Downer South. It shows how good he is and the fact that he's playing at the next level too. Multiple York players will be doing that. Flores is one of them. But that doesn't even really scrape the surface of even more York players who could be like Madsen, McCann, Siegenthaler. Even
everyone.
You think everyone?
Everyone.
You think Mikey Boysen's going to be a 2-sport athlete at Carthage along with football?
Why not?
Why not? Troy Walker flips it back to LT, and LT will reset. Does that kid have a yellow face mask?
Yes, he does.
I don't like that. Not a fan of it.
Did he ask you?
No, but I'm just not a fan of it.
Matches the LT colors.
It does. I don't like a yellow face mask. If it was white, sure, I'd be fine with it, or maybe even blue. But I don't like the yellow. Kind of just looks like there's a giant penalty flag around their neck. As LT moves it around. Out in front, and they beat Patty on his...
There goes the shutout.
They beat Patty.
Now we'll see a self
on his right side. We see Connor out there. Connor didn't take any reps at halftime, so I wonder if they're going to let Patty finish it.
That's number 3, Nick Putlick, for the goal.
42 was trying to hype someone up, but he was hyping up the away side. There is no one on the away side. Is he hyping up the tree?
And there's plenty of people on the home side.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants to hype up those guys.
A lot of which do to the video circulating around York as of late.
EJ
We've talked about it. EJ Espinosa. We talked about it when our mics weren't working, but he's a quiet kid. But when he's on the lacrosse field, a whole different monster comes out. Here's a little word from EJ. So you heard the man. Be at these games or be square. We got GBW here at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow.
Well, the game's at Glenbard West.
Show up. Be there or be square.
I don't think you're allowed to be. I don't think you're allowed to do that in conference just yet. I think on Wednesday when we're at LT, which, quick turnaround, you play LT on Friday afternoon, and then you're like, no, we're going to play again on Wednesday. But that's only because LT had to go on a COVID pause. Both these teams were originally supposed to meet May 1st.
That's right.
On a Saturday, which never happened. LT had to go on pause.
That's another thing we mentioned while the mics were off. Very different situations for these teams. The Dukes playing a lot of games in quick concession here. Lyons still getting their footing.
It's been a rapid fire. And the other thing with York is there has not been one sport since sports were back to play as McNeil's shot knocked down. There's not been one COVID pause. LT has had two. They had football and they've had lacrosse, both granted it's a school of 4,000 kids.
Okay, well there have been COVID pauses for York. Just want to clarify that. There have. Plenty of the cross-country groups did have COVID pauses.
I was saying when sports restarted, so I was talking after February. February and after. That, like I'm saying, basketball is there is a goal.
Yeah, the fans. That's Ryder again. Madsen.
Are we shocked?
Continues to pile on. Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, not shocked at all.
The only thing that would shock me at this point is if he doesn't get his choice of any college he wants to go to play this sport.
You think so? That would shock you?
It would. Seeing a little John Hopkins action out there.
North Carolina?
Anywhere.
Boyd Puckett said that North Carolina was going to win the lacrosse thing. I don't watch college lacrosse.
Well, there you go. You got Boyd Puckett's pick.
Okay. So, that's something.
If he said it, it's got to be right. Now you see the Dukes up. Aiden Wicklow getting in the game for the first time.
Wicklow, before the game, said he would score. I wonder if he will. The question is, will he even be down there on offense? Is Patrick St. Clair, one of the LSMs, out there on defense, and Espinosa is at the very top.
Well, roll pass there.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. I wonder if they were just told, we can't catch a pass.
You're being ruthless tonight.
We've had trouble catching a pass.
We can't catch a pass.
Well, let's be honest. Have they had a successful clear yet?
Yes.
Have they had...
Not more than 5.
Well,
there's Wicklow.
Another ground ball that they lose.
So you're going to live up to it. Oh, fake pass it off. Wicklow fires. He gets the goal.
Aiden Wicklow.
The bench is pumped. That was a great fake pass from Wicklow.
He tried to find
Ryan Wolf.
And now Buckley has, after making a lot of incredible saves, has not been able to get back into his rhythm. And is it actually 10? I thought it was 9.
10 piece.
So York has 10. Again, that is the 8th time this season that has happened.
At this point, it's a lot more surprising if they don't win their games by double digits than if they do. Like, people were talking after a win against Wheaton Academy, what were the Dukes doing? They only won by 3. I can't remember the last time a York sport was being coveted like that.
It was in the defense of York. It was a very poor first quarter. They didn't have a single goal, which was very unlike York to not even have a goal as Rieger moves it around back to Madsen, and they'll reset, and that
was a great feed for Madsen. Even better recovery by Tereha, resetting the offense.
And that's Seamus Wicklow, one of the freshmen down there. And Brian Grant is also in the game, 29. And now McCann steps up, and he'll kind of run the offense for the time being.
Now she spoke to Tereha before the game. He credited the hot start to the season as a result of all the hard work that they put in during the offseason. Says they're a tight-knit group that's come together, and hopefully the success continues against LT, looking to do so far. I mean, pretty handedly with this 9-point lead.
Well, it's not just LT. It's got to be Glenbard West and the rest of the opponents left on their schedule. Now, York, after tomorrow, only has 2 conference games left, which is very hard to believe. There's a shot that Matson actually knocks down, so instead of it going wide, they kind of keep the offense, and Seamus Wicklow scores.
Wicklow's with back-to-back goals. You can see Aiden Height there on the sideline. Little brother gets the goal in. It's a great play by Ryder Matson to keep them in rhythm. Leads to a Seamus Wicklow goal to put the Dukes up double digits.
I believe Matson got the assist too, so you're right. York goes up double digits. We're going to have a timeout. Now let's talk about the sectional for a brief minute here. And what's very strange is that beating a sectional team is just that more important than beating a team that is very highly ranked. So, like, let's say York were to beat St. Viator on Saturday, May 29th. But if they were to lose to LT next Wednesday and they lose to Glenbard West tomorrow, it would be kind of a rough spot to see who would be the one, because Glenbard West, they've also lost to York, but they beat Hinsdale Central 16-3 on Wednesday, which a 16-3 win. Granted, Hinsdale Central did not have their face-off guy. It's still a pretty impressive win, but it's, always weird how sectional pairings work and who hosts the game. It's weird with every sport.
I'll tell you what, Bobby. Keep it short. Give me the Dukes.
Really?
They're not winning. They're not losing the game this year. Undefeated, all the way through state.
Did I mention to you that they're not playing IC anymore?
Even better. One less team they have to embarrass. Dukes are not losing the game this year. I guarantee it.
They replaced the IC game with Bennett, another sectional opponent. That'd be a fun one. It's at Bennett, too, on June 1st.
Yeah, the season goes into the summer, not only for the seniors, but everyone on the team shows the commitment there. They practice into the summer.
And it gets warmer, but we'll say that in like 2 weeks it'll be 45 degrees.
Elmhurst, Illinois for you.
This is the Chicago climate. And then we'll go into June and it's going to be 85 degrees and just sunny like crazy.
As your inner weatherman, it comes out once a game.
Oh, absolutely. It has to.
And a little cold recently, though.
It has been. It has been below average, but I'm comfortable with it. I kind of like the cooler temperatures. I'm not a fan of the extreme summer heat.
I'm sure everyone at home was like, oh, I really hope Bobby talks about what temperatures he prefers.
Absolutely.
They've been waiting for that. What temperature does Bobby feel more comfortable in, the warm or the cold?
The cold. Here's your answer.
Here's your trivia question. Remember that.
Exactly.
23 viewers for next time we bring it up. Here come the Dukes.
St. Clair brings it up with one of the LSMs. Doesn't get hit out of bounds, and he's just getting hacked. Does a good job holding on to it. And now the offense kind of resets with 5:24 to go.
Gets off the field. Gets a short stick in there on the attacking end.
That's Lance that they brought in, who usually he's not out there on the face-off group. He is much, when York has an offensive possession, even sometimes a defensive possession, they'll
just sub him right in there, yeah.
They may sub out an LSM and put him right in as Rieger moves it around behind a Matson and in the hands of Wolf, who a little spin move and a shot that goes just wide, and so Matson
hitting on that LSM comment. That's really the value of an LSM is if you do lose the draw, you have an extra defender. If it goes to a ground ball, you have a longer pole to try to box people out. So it only makes sense that after the Dukes win that draw, they put McCann in. That's really been their strategy all season. Credit to Coach Canfield. It certainly makes sense.
And it's obviously a little more difficult to shoot with the longer stick compared to a short stick. It's better handling on the shorter stick is.
Right up to Rieger behind the back.
Nothing. There's a flag.
McCann almost just buried it behind the back goal.
That would have been beautiful. York will try to reset, and LT just wants to go a man down and not result anything. But York is like, nope, we're gonna try to score here. Wolf drives in, and he scores.
Ryan Wolf, number 15 out there. Dukes up 11. Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think another flag just went down. That's 2 flags on the field. Correct me if I'm wrong. One more goal for these Dukes, and it should be running clock?
Yes, you're correct.
And, the only reason I know that is because the Dukes reach it so often.
I was going to say, it's a pretty common thing to see happen. It did not, or it did happen on Wednesday. It did not happen on Monday versus Wheaton Academy. But Grant, Wheaton Academy is a really good team. They're a very young team, too. So everyone, I was talking to a Wheaton Academy parent. He's like, in a few years, we should be pretty good, but nothing's for certain right now. As the men in stripes will discuss what the flag is on and how many men LT will go down. So LT will go a man down. York will try to get another goal and try to create that running clock. And what's a little unfortunate is that the ref looks to the away side where the stat table is, but they don't look at us, where the press box is and everyone else is up here. So you kind of wish that, the table would be on this side. It'd be a little bit more helpful.
It would be nicer for us, but it just makes less sense. It's better for the ref to be right by those coaches and players so they understand what's going on as well.
Let's move everyone to the other side. There's your solution.
I don't know if there's regulations with that. I almost think it is that they have to be on the away side. I feel like I've never seen them.
That was not the case for us Wheaton Academy, I can tell you that.
All right.
Moving around. Oh, that was knocked down. Wolf grabbed it back in a little flip pass to McNeil. Out in front and a goal.
Is that a double hat trick? Is that 6 goals for Ryder Matson?
Do we have 6 for him? It's either 5 or 6, but yeah. Another goal for Ryder Matson. It is a 13-1 game, so that leads to your running clock. That will start at the face-off.
You don't hear us getting as excited about those Matson double hat tricks anymore. It's no discredit to him. It's just that he just does it so often. You get used to it. It's crazy to say, but he just scores so many goals, such a high quantity, such a high quality every single outing.
Face off.
Tied up. That's not something you see too often. It's because they had Boyd Puckett out there instead of Tereha.
Puckett is a really good face-off guy, but Tereha is the main guy for York, and now
the Dukes just have so much depth. If Tereha needs a breath, I would 100% be comfortable with.
And you can put
Puckett out there.
Jack Wagner, I believe, or Ada Wicklow. They both can take face-offs too. As LT trying to get something. Patty Toole has not seen an offensive possession for a period of time, and here comes York. Josh Temple going full speed ahead.
Everyone wants to get a goal.
I wonder if he will. They'll move it around. Temple's out in front. The ground ball, and Temple holds it again, and now Temple will go back. So Seamus Wicklow will bring it up. And Seamus Wicklow is a freshman, is so big. He is tall, and he's just built well. You would not, if you just looked at him, you're like, there's no way this kid's a freshman. He's a junior. Nah, he's a freshman. Which is him and Lance. You look at both of them, and they're going to be here for at least 2 more seasons as Wicklow
airmails that. Luckily, stays out of the street.
Tried to send it onto Spring Road. And now York again will reset.
That's Bobby's other talent. He loves his streets.
Yeah. I like interstates a little bit more.
Oh.
I won't.
You don't got to remind me about that. You can talk to them about that all day.
I won't mention that. That's for a later one.
That's for when they're up 20.
Yeah.
Not 12.
Seamus passed it over.
Will likely happen at some point, so they'll get to hear about your knowledge.
Later down the season.
Don't rule it out tonight. 8 goals away.
Well,
we've seen him score 8 in a quarter.
Yeah, we have. Wicklow moves it around to Rieger, who moves it back around behind the net. There's Brian Grant looking for a goal.
That's Wicklow.
And
it's a very nice stop there. Finn Buckley regaining his footing. See if they'll finally be able to get it clear. Looks like that one guy take it all the way. Ryder nearly able to take it away.
They were trying to juke out Ryder. They couldn't. And now it's a breakaway. So Patty all alone and a score for LT.
No blame on Toole there. That's just inexcusable that they let him get all the way behind the defense like that.
It was Whit Buckley who got it. So I'm assuming he is related to Finn Buckley. Buckley isn't that common of a last name, so.
That's a nice duo. Has one of the 2 goals now for LT. And, of course, Finn Buckley has really had a nice game. I mean, slowed down in the second half, but it's really hard to perform well when it's just constant duress, constant shots on you. Hit a great first half. So the Buckley brothers, hopefully, shaping the future of this LT team for all the Lions fans out there.
Torreya's back out there for the face-off. He wins it. And is he just going to go down and try to score? Passes out. Shot wide. And York with 26 seconds. We'll try to get something.
Madsen looking to throw it over the crease and does.
McCann.
Rip. Lance. Hat-trick. Lance McCann.
Top left-hand corner. McCann gets his third of the game.
Also sophomore with a hat trick.
And a junior with a double hat trick. And a 14-2 lead for York. They had a slow first quarter. They came out ready to play.
I think that they're having a problem with the scoreboard. I agree with your score of 14-2. They have it up there as 13-3.
We can say LT did not score. we can say that.
Either way, Duke's on top by an unknown margin. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion in the scoreboard room. I'm sure they'll get it figured out. 12 minutes to go in this game. Duke's up by at least double digits, expecting a running clock to be in effect very soon regardless. York Sports Network, AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling. Last time I'll say it. Apologize for the technical difficulties at the start. Glad we're on the mic now. Dukes, another dominant performance. We'll be right back after.
Start of the fourth quarter. Face-off is going to be won by York as Troy Walker tries to scoop up the ground ball, and he does just that. And you mentioned, had trouble with that. You mentioned Troy Walker. You talk about him a lot during the games on how he uses that long stick and the impact he makes.
And that he does. Just such a fast, physical player. That's why they have him out there on almost every face-off. He's able to win those ground balls, able to be physical, get the Dukes a much-needed possession as always.
A reset around.
Just a clarification, we were right up here. The clock team had it wrong. It is 14-2. Duke's looking to get it to 15 right here.
They have to do that by winning ground ball, which they easily do. That was Brian Grant who scooped it up. thought about ripping around net, couldn't. Now, York is having trouble catching some passes here, which is very unlike York. And now LT will look for a that. I couldn't finish my sentence.
That was 50 feet out of bounds. They have just had such a hard time clearing.
I couldn't finish my sentence before the ball just went. He wasn't even throwing it to anyone. He just airmailed it. Grant is around and resetting now. Trying to get it to Kircher out in front. Thinks about ripping it. He does. He scores. Drew Kircher with his first goal of the game makes it a 15-2 lead for York.
It's just crazy how good this team is. It really is.
I have a feeling right now that Glenbard West, there's a few Glenbard West people that are watching. They're probably watching this. Like, okay, what's the offense York is running?
Hey,
that's probably what they're looking at.
They've had to deal with it once already.
Right. So I'm sure they got something about it. But I'm sure they probably heard you just say, this team is really good. I'm sure they're thinking right now, we're going to beat them tomorrow. I'm sure that's what's going through those Hilltoppers' heads.
If any Hilltoppers are watching this, no chance.
You don't think so?
Not a chance.
It's the thing that's difficult about it is it's an 8 a.m. game. So
on the road.
Jack Wagner ripped it just wide of the net. But both teams that wake up early, get there, and play a lacrosse game, you need a cold shower before that to get you going. Is Kircher up and moving around. Now Wicklow around the crease, behind the net.
It's nice to see some new faces out there. Kircher looking for a second. We see him in the basketball season. Nearly gives it up.
Yeah, Kircher hasn't played a whole lot as he usually has. As this is going to go out, it's going to go down with LT. And LT is.
Just wanted to mention that was a great hustle by Aiden Wicklow. He was prepared. I mean, LT love to take their time on these, but he was prepared if they treated it like how the Dukes do and just started sprinting. He just sprinted like 60 yards down the field just to get into position. I mean, up by 13, that's just a class act.
It is. Kircher was whacking at LT, trying to get the ball loose. Couldn't. LT again having trouble
Seems
clearing.
like the more this game goes on, the harder time they're having to get it past the midline. That's another flag on the Lions.
So again, another man-up opportunity for York is coming. And there was a flag on the far side, too. Is York going to man down? I think they are. Boyd Puckett is standing there. No, now he's shuffled over.
He was just doing that to confuse you.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on what's
Looks
going
like
on.
the refs are confused on what they called as well.
Because the ref on the far side
Whistled it dead, too. Threw a
did.
flag and whistled it.
which
Which would ensue that there was some call against the Dukes because you don't do it if it was a call on the Lions.
right.
But there was already a flag down on the Lions.
So do you just go even strength, both teams with a man in the box? You could do that.
That's what I would assume, but I don't see either teams have a guy in the box right now. There they go.
Still, no one has taken a knee in the box just yet.
Both teams doing big subs, doing anything they can to keep us off our game up here, Bobby.
They are.
And the clock continues to run. I just realized.
It's a running clock. I think this is more hurting LT more than anyone else. Now, I don't know if they've waved the white flag, but I would love to know if there was an actual penalty or what is actually going on.
I don't see. Oh, there is someone for LT in the box.
Okay. Now I see
that still doesn't make sense why they whistled it dead.
You're right, because unless it was on York, why whistle it dead?
I think does LT have two players in the box, or is that guy just talking to his buddy?
I think that guy's just talking to his buddy, because I don't know if he's got pads on.
He doesn't have a helmet.
You know, the York players who are inactive, they are just wearing regular street clothes. The LT inactive players are wearing uniforms, which, okay,
ready to go just in case.
Yeah, I guess. You just put on someone else's pads and wear someone else's helmet. That's all fine.
I'm sure that they still brought them if they're wearing the uniform. I mean, it depends on the severity of why they're out, but
Matson got hit, and he's
a tough guy. Still, though, I mean, do you really want your star out there up 13? I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of season to go. I don't want to see Matson getting clobbered out there like that. And that's just me.
A timeout. It's a mask timeout too. So we'll take a break for ourselves. It is 15-2 with 5.5 to go left here at York. Out of the timeout. Both teams are at even strength. York is moving around. Wicklow looking for something, and they'll just move it around. So York is getting some of the guys who don't play as much, like both Aiden and Seamus Wicklow out there. Still waiting to see Mikey Boysen, a YSN member, get in and play.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He has 2 goals on the year, matter of fact. He scored versus Oak Park, and he scored the first game versus Hinsdale Central. So good for Mikey. Is Wicklow out in front?
Oh, wow. Aiden Wicklow almost just got his second. That was close. Spun over Buckley, but he was still able to get it.
It's a good hop, and Seamus Wicklow wins that ground ball. And pass skips it over to Blake Rieger.
Freshman to freshman connection out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Right back to Seamus. We'll be seeing these guys on the team, I mean, barring a move or something.
Absolutely.
Something unfathomable. And we'll be seeing these guys for 4 straight years in the green and white. Already getting reps right now on varsity. Saw that with E.J. Espinosa, Ryder Madsen, and Will Siegenthaler.
They were cheated out of a year.
Last season, of course, yeah.
Which was horrible. That is Seamus Wicklow falling down.
Wow.
I think that rattled off the post and went in.
And the brothers are hype. Aiden gave him a chest bump. That was nice.
The bench was excited too. It is now 16-2, so York they've got control of this game. And some of the players that don't get a whole lot of minutes, like Jack Wagner out there. Wagner's going to take that face off.
Yeah, you mentioned that. With Tereha and Puckett going to be gone next year, good to get Wagner some experience now.
Absolutely. When you played freshman lacrosse, who was the face-off guy?
It really rotated. Wagner did some of them, but I would say it was mainly Aiden Wicklow.
Okay. See, I thought that they both had done it.
At the start of the year, they had Troy. Before he actually started playing LSM midway through the year. They transitioned him. They're like, you're too big to be having a little stick. Actually, if I remember right, he shot the ball so hard his stick broke.
Really?
So then he started playing with someone's long stick, and he liked it. Don't quote me on that, but it was something along the lines of that because I remember that his brand new stick broke.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. Remember, he did tell me that he likes wearing a lot of layers since he plays hockey. But in a day like this where it's pretty warm outside, I don't know if I could be wearing a long sleeve shirt. And I see
And
Seamus,
it's about 40 degrees hotter here in the booth.
Oh my
it's at
gosh.
least 100 in here.
That
Wow. That was nice. Underhand rip.
that beat Patty.
I wish that we
to the
were.
right side.
I wish our mic didn't get deleted. I said Bobby could attest to this. Before the game, I said that number 77 looked like the guy who was going to score the goal.
It's Patrick Ryan. He has 33% of the goals for our LT.
I said Patrick Ryan looked good in the warm-ups. If there's any scouts watching this, I'm coming for your job. I'm coming for it. I was absolutely right about Patrick Ryan. Nailed another one.
The next top scout at Syracuse for lacrosse.
Wherever Madsen goes, I'll scout him there.
You'll scout him there. I don't know if it works like that. I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound right.
You never know.
Face-off is won by Wagner, who also slipped and then got checked.
They're giving him a beating out there.
Goodness, Jack Wagner just took an absolute beating.
It's getting scrappy here at the end. Wagner's getting the hits back.
Neither team could get a ground ball. He still can't.
There they go.
And I think that's Mikey Boysen out in front to Drew Kircher, who couldn't get the goal.
That was a nice pass from Boysen.
It was. Kircher just cannot beat it. I see a 1 and then what looks to be a 10. I'm assuming that Madsen isn't it? Yeah, it's 10. But I was assuming that Madsen was not out there.
They took our advice out there. No need to keep him in. It's a new LSM for the Dukes out there as well. All of a sudden, LT's got another push.
Trying to make it 12, but this one
Trying to get
goes
out of running clock territory.
well wide of the net.
Just under a minute to go now. Dukes on top 16-3. It's been an annihilation. After the first quarter, Bobby, it was only 1-0. We were saying we might be in for a good one. LT was putting up a big fight. Then we saw the fatigue kicking in. We see that big Dukes bench really making an impact. You know, Bobby,
That's a good save by
we've seen all sorts of things today. We saw Finn Buckley in net make some very good saves in the first half. Then we saw the Dukes really just start turning on. Right when we got our mics working, the Dukes were going crazy. So, Bobby, I've got to ask you. You know my thoughts. I think that I really don't see a loss on the schedule for this team. They just have too much heart. I mean, there's plenty of very big matchups left, Bobby, but do you see a loss on the schedule?
Well, the only thing that I think that would make a loss is if this team was not fully healthy.
They've got to be full strength versus Loyola.
And a very poor opening quarter start. And that was the case for Wheaton Academy. A very poor.
It's the case tonight as well.
They had a very poor first quarter. They are not full strength. They will be in a matter of days. And versus Wheaton Academy, they got off to a slow start, but a very good fourth quarter won it for them. Now, again, this was versus LT, and it's a huge win for sectional seeding when that comes around in however many weeks. But this is a big win. You advance on to tomorrow versus Lombard West.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. It is going to be.
I'm sure Bobby and I will keep you updated on the YSN Twitter if you want to give that a follow.
Absolutely.
We'll keep you up to date with these undefeated York Dukes walking away with a very big win today. Looking to get it to double digits in the win columns tomorrow at 8 a.m. versus the Hilltoppers. York Dukes come out on top. AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling on the call. Good night.